Hello. 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 Oh, wait. I forgot to... there we go. We haven't started the game yet. I can't show the game when we haven't started the game. Hello, gamers. I hope you are all having a wonderful night. A very cool, fun, and pog night on this Wednesday afternoon. I don't know what it was, but this week had me, like, fucked up. For some reason, I thought yesterday was Wednesday, and I got really confused for a second when it wasn't. I do have some bad news to share. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have a tummy ache. So I don't know how long this stream's gonna be, because I haven't eaten any dinner, because my tummy hurts. So we're gonna fuck around and see what happens. But welcome in, Boner Army, welcome in, gamers. So, the good news is, I did get my mods working, okay? I got my fucking mods working, and we are gonna romance the shit out of Panem. So, we're gonna get fucking down to business. So let me do this, and then I asked if we still wanted the funky lighting and shit, and it looks like we are going to be extra immersed today. Wait, where's the button? Where's the fucking button? There it is. Oh. We are going to continue to be hella immersed. But welcome in, everybody. So, no, I'm not gone. I'm immersed. Okay, so I do need to tell you, what happened is, I was basically, I had to install the mod, but I had to, oh, Rachel, thank you so much for the follow. Look at the stream now. Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. But basically, what happened was, because I had already gotten past meeting Panem, I had to delete my old saves, and I had to replay the game up until right before we met her. So this is right before we met her. But I had a no-show for work today. One of my students didn't show up, so I was like, oh, I'll use this time to, you know, do my cyberpunk shit. So I'm playing, and I played for like an hour, and I got around here, right? And I ended up having to not, like, my next lesson was about to start, but I accidentally started a massive police chase by accidentally committing vehicular manslaughter, maybe more than twice. So during my last voice lesson of the morning, I literally just had to leave Cyberpunk sitting because it wouldn't let me save while the police were after me. So that happened. So the police might still be after me. I don't know. I think the little star went away, so I should be okay. Hello? Oh, shit. Okay, I'm jaywalking. That's on me. That's on me. Hi.
They call me El Capitan, and they call you B.
Yeah.
See, no introductions necessary. Already took care of that.
El Capitan.
Someone comes to me with biz, I take care of it. I eat, sleep, and breathe biz. Remember that.
Okay.
Aye, Captain.
That's very dramatic. Welcome in, gamers.
Bikes.
We are slaying. Even though I have a tummy ache, I'm still slaying. I'm being very brave about it. But we're about to go meet Panem now that we have the... I'm sorry. I need to stop jaywalking. Sorry. Okay, you know... I'm just breaking all the traffic laws. It doesn't matter if I'm behind the wheel or not. I'm not paying attention to jack shit. Fuck all. Thank you for the pasture check, gamer. Okay. Hello, milady. Can I wait? Do I have the? Yes. Let me tip my hat to milady. Hello, sex haver. Welcome. See, look. I get under the hood and I get. Look, it's immersive, right? Ready? Under the hood. Whoa! This is like the bedroom mode. Hi.
Hey. Panem?
So you're V?
Yeah.
Where's my car?
What happened to hello?
We can help each other. Rogue said so.
I might have guessed.
All
right. Tell me all you know. Fail, and you can run back and tell Rogue to fuck right off.
Why are you so mean? Chill.
Hey, come on.
Chill.
Calm down.
Just be chill.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh.
Fine. Know where to find the cargo
Very
and your
feisty.
car, but you go
But I'm
alone,
kinda
you
into
won't
it.
get him back. And you could lose something else besides.
What?
So let's figure something out.
Huh? Lose something? Wait, what does she mean lose something
What do you
else?
want?
Am I threatening this woman? Like, she was a little rude, but I don't think there's a need to threaten her. Goddamn. Yeah.
Need
Just
to hit
to
a
the
King Cow
chase.
transport. Won't be easy.
I've
Wanna
learned that
know
I
can
can't
count on
talk
you.
through my
I knew
decisions
out
with
of
you
your
guys,
goddamn
because then the NPC
About you
yells
or
at
the
me to
job?
start saying something. I'm like, ah!
King Cow's ABU take it over Jackson
Pick an
Plains.
option.
Heard that should help us.
There is some
Yeah,
yacht.
I doubt it.
There is
Gonna
some
be a
yacht
guy on
action
board.
happening.
Need to talk to him.
Fuck.
In return, info on your cargo, help in getting back what's yours. We got a deal.
Pretty please.
I don't know.
Mm.
Oh shit!
Is this your car? Oh.
All right, deal. But
Oh,
if you
that
want your
was
thing done. We'll need to get my Thornton back first.
that was very
So where
dramatic,
is it?
ma'am. Is this is not your? Yeah, this is not your car. Yeah. Anyway.
Car's in Rocky Ridge. You're supposed to know where that is. Car's there. Goods are there.
Nash, you dirt-eating bastard. I will strangle you.
She can strangle me. All right, let's go.
Rocky Ridge. Let's go.
Hang on.
Well, welcome in,
I
everybody.
should
Hi,
think this
Lagwolf. Don't remember the cars. I do not remember the cars lore.
Yes.
I kind of wasn't paying
We'll need
attention when I
backup.
replayed it.
We have
and
one big stop to make on the way.
I think the
Wanna
save
tell
I
me
started
where?
at when I started replaying
Give me
it
a sec.
to make
I
sure
should
the
call
mod
the
was
client.
working was all the way
Convince them
back
to
when
leave
we
the bastard
found
hanging.
Going ahead with the deal.
what's her
behind
face?
Rogue's back.
I don't remember her name.
Brave,
I forgot.
yes.
Judy's friend.
Fucking dumber than a drum.
What?
Pause. Hey.
Mind your
Nash
business,
could've
Johnny.
passed
Let
the
me have
mission
this.
Rocky Ridge. The thing is, the motherfucker screwed me over. Boss, I will take care of it. I just need you to give me a chance.
Yeah, give her a chance. See, I'm rooting for
Boss,
her. I'm rooting
come
for
on.
her.
How many times have I moved things for you? And how many times have I failed? You have my word. After dark?
She's talking him up.
Okay.
She's doing the
No,
convincing.
don't call off the meat. Just don't show up. I'll take care of everything. Do you even have to ask? Of course I will. Thanks, boss. You won't regret this.
Yay!
Okay. I have bought us some time.
Nice. Now let's make out. Who's boss?
Who the hell's boss? Won't cause us any grief, I hope.
Boss is a stand-up guy. 6th Street.
I don't
You
know what
drive
that
for
means.
gang goons.
Oh.
Is that not allowed? Street punks need things moved. I need money like anyone else.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, where to?
So, where to now?
The Aldecaldo camp. I need to see some of the old clan.
Don't seem too excited.
That's not your concern.
Okay.
I still have friends there.
Well, are they gonna help us?
Any chance they might help us?
Evelyn,
Rocky
that's
Ridge.
right. I don't know why, but
That
my
was the
brain.
plan.
I thought her name was like Rebecca. I don't know why. Alright. Rogue said you were. Yeah, what's your lore? I need to know your lore before I fuck you.
Rogue mentioned your friends. Said you guys stopped seeing eye to eye.
Well, since Rogue said so, it must be true.
It isn't?
You mean to irritate me.
No.
Okay, then.
I just want to know your lore.
It was just a hiccup. They're still family.
So
Okay.
it's complicated.
You might say so. Yes.
Well, let's go.
Good, let's roll.
Get in.
Okay. In the fucked up car with no car alarm. I mean, it just doesn't have a car alarm. You know, that's fine. We don't need that. Whee. So where'd you get this one?
Where'd you get the ride? Straight out of some driveway in Rancho?
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Is that a problem?
For me, no. Not at all.
I don't give a
I mean, there's
shit.
no accounting for taste.
Screw you.
It's making some noises. What's your
How the
deal?
hell did you land in this mess?
I like the
The
color.
blue options never
Rear
mean any
freshener and
consequences.
booster seat
Oh,
came
okay.
extra.
You know I don't mean the car.
What am I supposed to tell you? That I'm not about to let my partner rob me and get away with it? That my fixer made me look like a goddamn fool?
You're driving kind of
What about you?
aggressively.
Why
Oh,
do you
no
need
more
that clown
vision.
from the
Oh,
EEBEE?
that's the wrong button.
This particular clown's got intel I need. And I'm running out of time to get it.
Huh.
So why didn't she tell me she knew about Nash?
I don't know who the fuck
You better
Nash
not
is.
to worry what her agenda might be.
God damn, I can't stand the bitch.
Well, screw Rogue. Fuck her.
Know what? Screw Rogue. Can't see why
If
you
a
even
lady's
care.
gonna be angry, I'm just gonna be
'Cause I
angry
need the
with
money.
her. Right? That's,
Don't
you
let
know,
her push you
fellas,
around.
for the
She's not the only
fellas in the
fixer in
chat,
town.
that's the best way. Really, anyone.
you're only
right?
here
If you
because
want to
she's sent.
support your
I'm
partner,
not the one bitching
like
about
dead
her.
ass, on God,
know her.
if you want to support
Not
your
at all.
partner,
Did she tell you she was
fucking,
the one to bring
if
the
she's
Nash
mad
together?
and if she hates
Did she
someone,
tell you it
the
slipped
only
her
person
mind
that
to
can hate
mention
that
Nash
bitch
was
more than
Raffi's
her
ship?
is you. Like, if there's someone that's like
Might not have known that side of him.
absolutely like they like
Don't make
a
me
cunt
laugh.
at work, you know, a
fixer of
bitchy
her
professor,
standing
whatever.
nose.
Anytime they
probably knows we're
complain
talking
about them,
about her
you
right
have to be
now.
like, yeah, fuck
Nash
that
and I get
bitch.
along
That's how
well.
you be there for someone.
Her
Okay?
plan.
That is how you be there for
That's
someone,
it.
is match
Girl's
their
a
spite.
frigid
Okay?
bitch. That's the truth.
Yeah. She broke off her Nomad besties to work logistics gigs for Night City's fixers. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we'll skip the rest of the ride. Woo! Hi. Yeah, I'm not sure if she... I think she's a better driver than me, because if it was me, I absolutely would have ran these two chuckle fucks
look
over.
what the cat
100%.
Is that
Wait,
a...
was this? Hope our little hothead gets the job done. Good luck. Okay. Probably would be a... Oh, Takamura wants to talk to me. What? At night, from the den located after the 5th bamboo in the hamlet, the fox goes out to hunt. He quenches his thirst at the watering hole. While waiting for your arrival, he takes shelter in the shade of the cherry blossoms. The fox is cautious. It shall emerge when it is sure that the water was not poisoned. I love poetry, but Takamura, what the fuck are you talking about? We'll just, I'll talk to you later, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
It's just my hangover.
Fuck you too.
I feel so awkward. Like
this?
I know it's a
My
game.
babysitter.
I know it's a game,
Hey, this
but
is
like,
Scorpion.
I
Mitch.
feel awkward in
Two
real
old
life.
friends.
Just like, hi. Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What brings you to these parts, city girl?
The big city got too small for her.
Oh,
Do you have any idea how angry the old man's
You know
gonna
what's
be when he
crazy?
sees you here?
me
I've
probably.
just come by for a spell. Saul needn't know a thing.
We need your help.
Need
I'm
your
not
help.
just awkward.
With what?
I
What's this
know
about?
how to
Raph is
socialize.
screwed, Panem. Plan is
Fox
to show
is
him
pee
that was
on
a
and
bad
in
idea.
everything. See,
How
this
bad
is
did
why
they get you?
thinking before I
Bad enough
speak
to
is
make
a
me
good
sit quietly
choice
through
because,
all your
like, for a
bullshit.
split
You
second,
know
I
we
was
would do
so
anything
ready to
for
be
you,
like, oh my god, me too. But then I thought, then I used
Now
my
it's
brain.
hard.
I was like, nope,
Seriously?
no,
You won't
Evie,
help?
that's not the right.
The old man told us
That's
to
not the right response
sit
to
tight
that.
and get those generators back up after
Look
the
at me,
batteries
Tap.
went kaput.
Generators? You won't help because of some goddamn generators? Is
What,
this
what's
another
wrong with the
joke?
generators? We could use you guys.
Really could use your help.
Don't look at me like that. The way everyone
Not
just
this
side-eyed
time. We're
me.
needed here.
I don't believe this.
I don't belong here. I feel awkward. I want to go
Because
home.
Saul told you to. You couldn't care
Saul
less
Goodman?
about me.
Chibi! Okay, after this
isn't about
conversation, I'll
Saul.
change to Chibi.
It's about the
Thank
clan.
you, Night Sky.
You know that.
Let me...
Listen, we can't leave
We'll make
camp.
Chibi
No
edgy
chance,
too.
but,
Actually,
but Saul
can
never
do
said
this
a
right
thing
now.
about
Hold on.
gear.
do I have the Chibi?
Gaslight,
Is it here?
keep
Well,
girl
Continue,
boss.
thank you
Need
so
that
much for the
rifle of
follow.
yours.
I'm now small.
And some of my
Hello.
own stuff.
Let me, do I have
Take
the, what's the
whatever
button
you
to make
want.
my cheeks
And take
unpuff?
care
I
of
deadass
yourself out there.
don't
Yeah.
remember.
Thanks, guys. I'll
I
grab
just
the
look
gear, then
chunky.
be out
Hold
of
on,
here.
I need to get rid of some of my chunkiness. Not all of
Looks
it,
like you're
just
stuck with
just
me.
a little bit. Okay, no more chunky. I guess I am small
Disappointed?
now. All right, here we go.
I don't know. Maybe a little, yes.
She's so... I love her so much. I really do. Okay, where are we going? Ooh, shooting range. Oh, this is real yeehaw. Oh, I love this shit.
Hey,
Where are we?
Panem, are you staying a while?
No, I'll be going again soon. We'll talk next time.
Oh, okay. She doesn't fuck with nobody.
Bad.
Okay. Everyone knows her, though. She's a bad bitch. Non-committal.
Have you
Helped
brought
her with her
someone new?
career.
Does Saul
For a
know?
little. Goddamn.
Not your concern, friend.
Friend. They're scary. Mean girls. And, elite sniper, I guess. We've got fucking Regina, George, and SEAL Team 6 over here. Alright. Hello. Getting yeah, this is moving very fast. Oh. Oh! Okay.
Will you help me with this?
Fuck yeah, I will. Shit, okay.
What's inside?
A few
This
odds
is
and ends.
better than sex.
Take
Oh
it.
my god.
All right.
What
that's
is
everything.
it?
Let's go.
Is that like a flamethrower? Oh, I'll take a flamethrower over head any day of the week.
Will you come back?
Am I weird for that? Like, I don't know. If I was presented with like two options, sex and a really big gun, I would probably take the gun. Like, I don't know. Am I weird for that?
I promise.
Flamethrowers are pretty good. Like, you can get, like, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think that's the cooler option. What do I know, though? I'm a VTuber.
So,
I don't have sex.
I'm off.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, go on. Go already.
It's a sniper rifle?
Call us sometime.
Fucking
Keep an
Ezio
eye on
over
her,
there?
V.
How many people do you have in here? Oh my god.
Put it in the trunk.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Oh. Wait, is there... For a split second, I thought I saw a dude in there. I was like, what? That'd be crazy if there was a dude in there. Honestly, I'd still go for her, you know. Nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. Sometimes you accidentally kidnap someone and shove them in the trunk of your car. It's okay. No one's perfect. How much do you know about Rocky Ridge?
So, Rocky Ridge. Empty, dusty hole in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, I heard. Natives either moved to Night City or just got the hell out.
Hi, Pods! You're so real for this month. Listen, I saw her, I wanted her, and you know what? I'm not gonna sit by idly and just not let myself be gay on the internet. I will be gay on the internet.
How many ghost towns do you think
like,
are there?
Listen.
Hundreds?
I understand. I said this last stream. I'll say it. Like last I was at Punk stream. I'll say it again. I understand that having set sexualities and a variety of sexualities for characters is more accurate. You know, trust me. As someone who grew up in bumfuck nowhere in high school, I understand the pain of you know realizing the girl you like is straight, and you're just like, damn, that's crazy. But like, this is a video game. Let me be player sexual, okay? You got a real problem with authority. See, here's the thing. I don't like V's response, because I know if I say this, it's gonna come off a certain way. I want to be like flirty and be like, so, you got a real problem with authority, huh? I like that. But watch what V says, but because I bet you she's gonna...
Seems you got a real problem with authority.
Why does she say it with that tone? Yeah, I was saying the same thing, but what? Everything V says, like, maybe it's just female V. Everything she says comes off as rude.
What happened?
Like, girl, would it kill you to be kind? I know you're from Night City and everyone's dying and on drugs, but like,
but you saw it.
Just be kind.
We got a handful of tents on a heap of sand. A hell of a promised land.
Like, I'll pick an option and I'll be like, this is the good one, right? And then she speaks, I'm like, oh,
he'll be the end of the clan, I'm certain.
Mitch and Scorpion seem fond of you. They were your
Mitch and Scorpion
pals.
seem good souls.
The best friends a girl could ask for. I'd stay in the camp too if I were in their
Thank you for the clip, Jingle.
Fuck Saul and his generators, of course. Yet the clan comes first.
Yeah, fuck Saul and his generators.
Still treated you like you're one of them. They care about you.
Do you have anyone you would call close?
Maybe soon.
Not right now, no. Could just be a matter of time, though.
Okay.
Honestly, that's how I flirt in real life. Like, the way she was just like, oh, yeah. That is me flirting in real life. Like, I don't know. Maybe. Tucks hair behind ear.
Were those two in the army?
At least FemV is as bad as flirting.
Yeah.
Bad at flirting as I am.
They were on contract during the last war.
Panzer boys. Flew those...
Okay.
No, wait, no, I wanted to know about the Panzer boys. Oh, well.
What do we do?
What do we do?
Ready to greet the Raffins. And we've little time for that. We'll need to improvise.
God, I'm gonna need to shoot the gun.
We should scout first, to look for anything
I'm
that
just
might be
here
useful.
to look cool, Keanu Reeves, and be gay. I don't know how to shoot the gun. I'm so bad at shooting gun. Hi, Joker. Welcome in, gamer. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, Cliff. Okay. BD Shack. Braindance Shack? I guess that's what that means. Okay. I have to remember, how do I, because here's the thing. It's been so long since I played this. How do I scan shit? Because I don't remember. Okay, that's the shoot button. That is not... that is not the scan button. What is the scan button? Maybe we should look. Because I think it's been like a month since I played this. Tab? Okay, tab. There we go. Okay. Scan the devices in the area. There we go. And
Doubt Rocky Ridge could be any deader. Everything's down, nothing.
Yeah, ignore me throwing that random grenade. I was trying to assert my dominance. You come up with anything?
No
oh wait,
dice.
shit, wrong button.
Nothing's up, all cut off.
That's fine.
Oh, we'll make it work.
Okay.
The Raffins will roll in after dusk. We will have a surprise ready for them. We just need to get some power flowing.
Okay.
Let's check the substation.
Okay.
All right. Whatever you say, Busty. Let's see. I have to make sure my guns are okay, because right now, I think if this is gonna be a situation where I'm swarmed by like 30 dudes at once, I don't think this little pistol, and whenever the fuck, oh wait, that's not a little pistol. Wait, hold on, what was, okay, this is fine. I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm gonna be honest, I don't, you know, maybe we should, maybe, what is, one-handed club? When did I get that? It looks like a snake. I don't remember when I got that. It's kind of iconic, but I don't know if that's what I need. Give me a light machine gun instead. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then my pink pistol. I like my pink pistol. He has the old lady cane already. Listen, I'm embracing my hag era by getting a cane and beating the shit out of bitches with it. Alright, anyway, scan. It's a transformer. Scan. Where's the power source? It's over here. I think I have to go upsies. I think that'll be fine. 900 points till VIP. Hell yeah, gamer. Yeah, I think I gotta go ups. Alright. Uppies. Uppies. Here. Okay. What's up? It's a
Found the
box.
breakers, but there's no juice on them.
No juice.
Not to worry.
That's
Calm
right, I
down.
did steal
I
it.
know how to surprise the bastards.
Okay. I like surprises. Anything cool in here? We'll take these just in case. Alright. What's the plan, Panem? Panem? I don't know, I feel like I'm gonna say Panem or Panem. Like, this is gonna be like an Asterian, Astarian situation.
Transformer substation, right?
I'm in
The
love with
switch
you,
gear
but
on the
I need to figure out what the
Flip
fuck
switch
you're
there
doing.
and everything will light up like Christmas. Understood?
Oh, I like your... I like it.
Fine idea. Let's get us some power. I'll look around for access points.
Great. They're likely to show up in numbers. We can't know how many.
Pan
We need to
Am.
outfox them.
Like
Then get
Pan
to my
Am
car somehow.
Airlines.
Relax.
Okay.
Got a few ideas. I'll try to play a little game with them at the intersection.
What game are we
Hell
playing?
yes. Perfect.
As soon as they see the lights, they'll have to check who, why, and how. Nova.
Yep. First we start up the control terminal below. The gear on the roof is a hunk of junk without it. Come on, we'll give it a boost from the car battery. That should do the trick.
Okay.
Wait for me by the substation. I'll bring the car around.
Okay. Alright. Let's head over here. And, we'll just start jacking cars, I guess. That'll be fun. It's very... I don't know. I feel like I did not expect to see this kind of environment in this game. You get so taken in with Night City, you're like, damn, there's like still nature and shit in this world. You could see the sky? That's crazy. I mean, you can see the sky in Night City, but like, the light pollution's a bitch, you know? Alright. What's going on? What's the stitch?
The panel looks to be in good shape. I'll make a bypass circuit to the power supply. That
She can rip my panel door
We'll
off
just have to get it
anytime.
up and running. Grab the
Yeah,
jumper cables
check
from
your,
the
if
front.
you're scheduled
We'll
to
boost it
take
from
a
the car
flight,
battery.
check the flight, check the make and model of the plane. If it is a Boeing 747 MAX, don't go on that fucking plane. They've been having safety issues for a while. This is not the first time that there's been issues with that type of plane. The one that was on the Alaska Airlines video where the door flung off. No, Boeing's been cutting a lot of corners lately with their planes, and that's not good when you're in the business of air travel. That, like, someone could have died, but they didn't, so that's cool, you know. What do I know? What do I know about air safety? All right, anyway, jumper cables. I got distracted. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Car battery cable. And a sandwich. Oh, and you know what? We'll just take all of that. Okay. All right, to the battery. 737X. That's right. I think the 9s have been grounded. Okay, that's good. That's good.
That cable connected.
But yeah, if it says Max, be a little wary, you know. 9s have been grounded for now. That's good.
Now the
That's
Black
good.
Rattler.
All right. Boop. Woo! Okay.
There she goes. Thought the old jalopy served us well. Okay, I've got voltage. Start the terminal inside. And once the power is on in the building, get on that roof.
Okay.
You got it.
All
I'll
right.
set up on the tower. We'll have the whole intersection on a platter.
Oh
You
boy.
flip the breakers when I give you the signal to do so, understood?
What's the signal?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I love how even V is just like, okay, You take the lead, bestie. Whatever you say. Yes, ma'am. She's not concerned of the fight. Well, we're gonna get her car back. Wait, how do I... Do I not? Okay, I can't shoot the door open. I wanted to open the door, but that's okay. The window. Oh, I can go through the window. Okay, there we go. Here? How do I get in
the glass and dive in.
Oh, okay, okay.
As if someone will send you a bill.
Okay. I just like towards the front. Where is the window? To the window. To the wall. Here. Oh, this window. Oh, whoopsie. Pew, 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 pew. Whee. Aha. Okay, there we go. All right. Take that, just in case. Take this, and aha. Activate.
Switchgear's got power.
Prime. We'll have some fun at the intersection.
Yippee!
Let's get into position.
Okay. All right. Let me. I guess I'll just hop out the window again. And then we'll see him coming out. Found a new weapon. Oh hell yeah. Hello. Oh, Crowley, thank you for the hydrate. I think.
Wait.
I think something's about to happen. Hydrate.
Remember.
Posture
as
check.
soon as we
Yeah,
see
the
them,
drink of today
give
is
us
water. Where are they coming
Weapons
from?
will come from where? Any idea?
Used to be a bug that would
northeast,
launch you
From the
backwards.
freeway that was never
I love
finished.
that. I've been doing a new thing where I only drink. I always only drink diet
Cover me
soda,
just
but
in
even
case.
though it's diet soda, I want to drink less of it. I want to drink more water. Oh fuck!
They're rolling in. And my thorn. You see her?
Really, really hard to miss.
Yeah, that's.
Let's take them by surprise. Let's try to do this quietly. If anything
Oh boy.
happens, I'll
Okay.
start picking them off.
We're not going loud.
great.
We're not going loud. This is television. Oh, the boys are back in town. But yeah, I'm trying to drink more water and only drink 1 soda a day. And I'm not gonna lie, not to be like annoying, but I do feel a lot better, and I've noticed a lot of benefits since I started drinking only water.
Show starts now.
Okay.
Let there be light.
Woohoo! Oh shit! This is like that scene from the movie Cars,
The driver has it.
but like if it was fucked up. Okay, take Panem's car.
Lunch.
Are we just going? Do we need to sneak or are we just going? Because she said sneak.
Cut off everything.
Oh boy. Did you know that constantly consuming caffeine and sugar is bad for you? That's crazy. Don't do it that way. Like I'm supposed to be sneaky here, right? Oh god. Okay.
Think everybody just packed up and set out?
How am I gonna pickpocket him? There's so many. He's kind of starting to go by himself. Can I take him out silently? You do have to kill that one guy? Okay, okay. Let me... Am I still crouched? Yeah. Okay, you don't see me. You do not see me. Oh shit, he's going in. Okay. I don't want to cause a big scene, but I might have to. Okay. Around? There's cameras. They have access to the cameras? God damn it! Okay. Fine. Everything's fine. Oh, you're here. Hello. Didn't see you there, buckaroo. Okay. Okay, I'm reloading. Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm just here for the key. I'm here for the key. I'm not very good at FPS games. Newborn Prince. Oh, Jesus. Thank you for the file. Oh, what the fuck? Stop. Oh my god, do you see that? I am not an FPS gamer. I've been playing only Skyrim for like 3 years. Oh boy, okay. I gotta face my fears. Oh shit, hi. Are you dead? Oh, are you dead now? Okay, just in case. Okay. Oh shit, hi. Okay. Oh wait, fuck, I'm out of fucking ammo. Okay. Thank you for the yeet. No, I'm good. Oh yeah, I have my pimp cave. Wait, can Can I just go around and start? I'm playing on like the easiest difficulty ever because I'm a little bitch. Can I just start smacking people? I kind of want to just here. No, I still have a. It's pimp cane time. Okay, give me that shit. All right. I may not know how to wield a gun, but I know how to swing a sword. Come here! Come here! What? Get fucking caned on, bitch! What? Bonk! Wait, no! Okay, there we go. I have bonked! Alright, anyone else want a bonkin'? Come here! That's what I thought. Aha! Alright, give me your big gun anyway. I think it's nifty. Alright. Where's my friend's cave? No, for real, where is it? I don't see it. Okay. Okay. Melee builds are very effective. I will need to try that. Okay, where is it? Is it on somebody? Oh, on somebody. Oh, hi! There we go. I'll beat him. Help me finish him.
Better off not leaving anyone to tell the story.
Yeah, no survivors.
It's as if you read my mind.
Oh my god, I love murdering people and being gay! Yes! Oh wait, that's my wrong number. Fuck. Wait, can you go back? Can you, like, a little to the right? A little to the right? To the right? To the right? Oh my god, you fucking pussy! Okay. Making me walk with my happy ass all the way over there. Hello? Hi! Oh, you're in caning distance. Hello! What? I'm a story-based gamer, okay? I'm not here to shoot big guns. I'm here for the story, okay? Alright, well, maybe a little bit of guns. I can't see! It's dark outside! Oh, fine, fuck it. I should not be living through this, but that's okay. Are you still alive? Stop being alive. Okay. Thanks, bro. Yeah, look at that. Street cred. Okay. Street cred. You can try sparkling water. See, okay, this is gonna sound super weird. I've never been a sparkling water, like, person. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a fucking weirdo. Sparkling water, like, makes me tingly. Like, I don't like the way it feels in my mouth. So what I've been doing is, like, occasionally I'll have the little, like, water packets. But I try to only have one per day. Because, like, I've talked about my opinions on water TikTok and the putting, like, the syrups and the shit in the water. That's a little much. Oh, okay. There you go.
There. Didn't wait another minute, could ya?
Cool. I don't know, I kind of like beating the hell out of people. I'm not very good at guns, but I like smacking.
At last.
Maybe we'll just go for a melee build. Because that's the thing, this is my first time playing this game. I don't know what the fuck the options are. I don't know what the build paths are, right? So if the easiest option is just whacking, then maybe I'll just keep whacking.
And she's prime wheels, isn't she?
Like a dream.
Dreamy and
I actually don't give a fuck about cars, but I'm saying what I think will make you happy.
See? Managed just fine without Mitch and Scorpion.
I'm pretty cool, right?
Listen, V, it's not over yet.
It's not. You got the cargo, you got your car.
I did not get Nash, who was not in Rocky Ridge. The fucker didn't show.
What? You're on a vengeance kick.
So it was about vengeance. The whole time.
The hell you know about me?
No, I picked the wrong
You're not
dialogue
being
option.
straight with me, or you don't know what you want. Hard to say with the
Just
words.
listen to me, for fuck's
God
sake.
damn it. That was the wrong choice.
I
That
know
was
where
the
their
wrong
little hidey
choice.
hole is. We'll take the old unfinished freeway nearby. They will not be expecting us. I'm sure of it.
Alright, let's go.
Alright. So where's this hideout?
A hop and skip
Where
away.
you use swords and go in punching and throwing people?
Thanks.
Gonna be real, I'm interested.
What Nash did.
Very upsetting spaghetti until the mission's done. I mean, I guess that's fair. I'm a
placed my
slut
trust
for
in him.
vengeance, you know.
He was the
I'm
first
into
person
it.
I worked with after leaving the Aldecaldos. After I came to Night City. And I granted him my trust.
I get you.
I get it. Know how you feel. Had someone betray me just like that once.
And did you make them pay?
Never got the chance. Someone else got to him first.
But if they had it, would you have done it?
Yeah.
No doubt.
I don't know, like, not to be like,
Let's get this over with.
listen, my morals are not great, but like, I don't know, depending on what a person's done, there are certain times where I'm like, yeah, I think that's okay. I think it's okay to not, sometimes I think it's okay to not take the high road. You know, like,
Let's
I
get
don't know. Maybe, like, not every time. Like, it's like, oh, my friend, you know, owes me $5 and they haven't given it back. Guess I'll shoot them in the fucking head. Like, no, that's a little much. But, like, there's some things where it's like, I don't know. I listen to true crime podcasts sometimes and it'll talk about, like, yeah, and they killed this person for this reason. And I'm like, you know what? They're kind of valid for that. You know, like, they're kind of real for that. Like, killing an innocent person's fucked up, obviously. But, like, I don't know, if someone's, like, really wronged you, then, like, fuck them. Anyway, bonk, 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 bonk. Okay, who's next? Oh, fuck. Grenade! Oh, wait. Ah! Aha! Bonk, bonk, bonk. Bonk, bonk, bonk. I love the noise they make when you smack them around. It's so, like, it kind of just hits just right. Bonk, 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 bonk. Like, it's kind of pleasant. Okay, I need to actually, hold on. I'm gonna get murdered to death. Hold on. I need to, oh, fuck. I need to pay attention. No, let me crouch. Oh, fuck, crouch, you see, it's not the other one. Okay, fuck, 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 fuck. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing. Hold on. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my god, hi. Okay, I actually don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Hold on. Okay, I apologize for my actions. I got too silly. I'm sorry I got too silly. Would you like to beat people with a... If you're asking if I want to beat the shit out of someone with a dildo, absolutely. I apologize, gamers. I got too silly. Okay, let me, no more discussions about morality, only violence. Okay, I'm focused on the violence now. Okay, I'm focused on the violence. Let's go, okay? Okay? Okay. I do need I think I have a katana. Also, welcome, please. I think I have a katana. Alright. I do like the noise the bonk. Why didn't we just run the car into them? That would have been so much more, like, not to be a hater, why didn't we run the car into them? Dead ass. This is not the right gun for this. Hold on. Okay. This is the right gun. There we go. Okay. Focusing. Oh my god, I hate being a gamer. This is so hard. Okay. Alright. Closest. Get away from the sniper. You're over here. Oh shit, I gotta reload. Okay. Crouch. Holy shit! Okay, did we just run that guy over? Oh no, there's more of them! Okay, back up. Okay, oh shit, okay. This is why I could never stream like Valorant or something like that. I don't like not being able to look at my chat. But if I don't look at my chat, I fucking die. Okay, hold on, here we go. Okay, you're here. Let's get the ones closest to me first. Okay, let me skedaddle over here. Whoa! Almost scared me, buddy. Okay. Alright, get in the corner, get in the corner. Actually, I'm gonna go up top and get the snipers, I think. Do I have... Here, don't I have stuff that'll... Aren't there healy items in this game? Isn't it like Skyrim where I can eat a burger and I heal? Or am I making that the fuck up? I might be making that the fuck up, but that's okay. Alright, here we go. Okay. Ah, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay. Grenade! Fuck. Okay, I need to reload. I need to reload. I need to reload my other weapon. Shit! Okay. Alright. Okay, I'm missing all my shots. I need to pay attention. I need to pay attention. You know, if I knew I was gonna be this bad at shooting, I would not have been such a proponent for— Oh my god! Okay. I would not have been such a proponent for violence if I was not— if I knew I was not good at gun. I am very much not good at gun. Okay. 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 Here, can we take a breather for a moment? I'm dying. I'm dying. I have meds. Okay, what bind is it? It's not X, because that's how you kill people. Oh no, it is! Okay, I have drugs and I'm ready to party. Okay. Sometimes to heal yourself, you just need to do whippets, apparently. So that— what? Okay, that works out. That works out. Okay. Don't I have a sniper rifle? Where'd I put it? Where'd I put my fucking sniper rifle? Hold on. I want that, actually. Where was it? Submachine gun, pistol, assault rifle. She gave me one. I think it might have been this one? I don't know. I think it was that one. Let's see.
I'm on him.
No, not quite. Where is she? Okay, let's get this one on the side. You take the corner. I'll take this. I'm learning. Okay, we're learning. We're learning. Hello. No. Whoa. Okay. Oh fuck! I left Panem. Sorry. I got distracted. Is that everybody?
Happy? Almost.
Wait, let me loot these guys' dead bodies. Ooh, Eddies. Okay, I like Eddies. Damn, okay. We really did that. We really killed all those people. That's kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. Is this gonna end up being a don't stick your dick in crazy kind of situation?
What did you say again? Solve your own problems? Clean up your shit? Nash is dead. One shit cleaned. Happy?
And the 6th Street merch?
Nash can't deliver it anymore. But if you ask nicely, I might be able to help.
Did you grab Nash's gun? I'm not sure if I did. Assault rifle, pistol. I honestly am not sure if I did.
I took my cut up front.
I think I did, because I looted this guy's Nash, right? I looted him.
Was actually wondering if you wouldn't forget about Biz while you were up chasing down a vendetta.
Fuck.
Let's go.
Let's get out of here.
I know if I say just let it go, I'm gonna come across as a bitch. That's just how V is, okay? But I think I looted everyone. Let me just double check real quick. It's on the 2nd story. Okay. Are you still alive? Stop that. Okay. 2nd story. Let's see. Tier 1 components. Let's see. Nash. I need your gun. Gun? That one's pretty cool. Gun. Oh, okay. Widowmaker. Like Widowmaker Overwatch. I know that. Oh, okay. Blue gun. Okay. The blue gun was more.
What bitter cold bitch that rogue. Think she might have lost the plot.
Mean to say she used to be sweet and alluring?
Never that. But she's no stranger to the other end of the stick. Think she might need a nice strong shock.
Like a bonk? Because I can do bonking. Alright. Let's get it. Are we just gonna drive through? Oh, okay.
Hey, boss. Got your
Okay.
cargo. No fast ones. Come on, let's meet. Sunset Motel.
A motel? This is moving very fast.
I'm certain to be there.
We just killed like 12 people and then we're going to a motel.
Okay, I arranged our meeting. Let's do the deal and
I
start
don't
working
know.
on Hellman.
We
Agreed?
could like go see a movie.
Sunset Motel? What's that?
You know, go to
Safe
Olive
spot.
Garden.
It's not far from here.
Okay.
Should be fun.
Alright, whatever. I'm just following at this point. Whee! Alright, let me skip the ride. I guess, I don't think we're fucking. That'll be very soon.
They're here.
I think this is less sex and
Sensing
more
trouble.
lore.
No. At least I don't think
Which,
so.
depending on who you ask, is better. She's too classy for Olive Garden, especially in Night City. I want to go to a Night City Olive Garden. I think that'd be funny as fuck. The Night City Red Lobster. Getting absolutely fucked up at the Night City Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh my god. Listen, all I'm saying, out of all of the chain restaurants to get fucked up at, Buffalo Wild Wings is one of my favorite places to absolutely get
Don't call him
obliterated.
There's no need.
You got balls, girl. What's this?
I don't drink a
bonus of
lot,
some sort.
but when I do, we're working together.
We work together.
Yay.
Change tunes like you change clothes, girl.
Oh shit.
There.
Sure, she
First
doesn't have a
class
war
match.
boner. She actually very well could. She might be a psychopath, but like I said, no one's perfect. Pegging in the buff. God damn it.
Everything's in order?
We don't peg in the
your
Buffalo
account.
Wild Wings. We can get
Should be pretty plush
fucked
in a
up in the
couple
Buffalo
minutes.
Wild Wings, but we
been a
don't get
pleasure.
fucked in the
But I
Buffalo
believe
Wild Wings.
Rogue's
There's a
the one who was to
difference.
blame.
You're all right. Think you earned a tip.
Oh.
Let's roll.
What kind of tip? I'm hungry. I never ate dinner because of my tummy ache.
That went well.
I want a sandwich.
Let's get a drink.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, damn, maybe we are fucking. Holy shit. Okay.
Raffin's wiped, 6 streets pleased. Pretty good day for Panem Palmer.
The day's not over yet.
I just
You
like
still
having
have
my
a
gun
chance
out.
to
I know
piss
I
me
don't need
off.
to have my gun out, but I like having my gun out. Where are we going? It looks kind of cool. I don't know. I kind of like the vibe here.
New biz or new friends back there?
Hi.
Take a wild guess. Is everything good with you? Did those bozos come around again?
Raffins? Nah, it's
So
been
close.
quiet.
Oh,
They'll
yay!
be back, sure enough. This place has seen worse. What can I get you?
Brosif. 2 of them.
Brosif.
So that package for Street, what was it?
You didn't peek? Faloperidol. Drugs for the cyber psychos in our midst.
They trading them?
Yes. They have deals. With black clinics, rippers.
To your car.
Here's to that thorn of yours.
Thanks for everything, partner.
Yay! Oh, she is. Oh. Oh, pop off, queen!
Another one over here.
Holy shit, okay. So, okay. I've talked about this before. I don't drink very often. Not because I like dislike
Let me know
drinking
if you need
per
anything
se,
else.
but I'm a lightweight, right? I get 2 drinks in and I'm fucking rolling. I don't know what it is, okay? But like, I'm afraid of her, but like in a sexy way, you know? What's the deal with Anders?
All right, time we look to my needs. What's the plan for Hellman?
I've come up with a plan. A first draft.
It's your meds.
But I need to sleep on it. Work it out.
Yeah.
Then we can talk
Binge,
about the
binge,
details.
binge, binge.
I think it best to rent
My
rooms
name
here,
is EEBEE
just to
Games,
stay
and
in
I
the
do
area.
not
We'll
have a
get to work
drinking
around
problem.
midnight. It'll help keep us out of sight. Agreed?
At least not anymore. No. Oh my god. Oh my. Did you see that? Did you see that? Is this literally the fan fiction fucking and there was only one bed?
Maybe we rent just one room.
Good idea. Noah has 2 twin beds in every room. We'll save some money.
Can I save here? Oh, god damn it. Do we shoot our shot, chat? This is going very fast. Do we shoot our shot? I don't know. I don't know. What if she says no and then we're fucked? Like, I don't know. Okay, we'll shoot our shot. We got this. Okay, we got this. We got this.
Not quite what I had in mind.
Just what did you have in mind?
Just glad to have met you.
Oh god,
So,
no.
I thought.
I'm glad we met too. That could have been a damned tough day.
Okay, maybe,
But thanks
maybe,
to you, it
maybe.
all went well.
Maybe calls for a little celebration?
No.
Sure. We can celebrate. But not today. I'm beat. Noah will need a room. Twin beds. Just for tonight.
Well, that
I'll go catch a few wings.
that could have gone worse. We'll drink to that. I think that could have gone worse. It didn't go exactly what I planned, but she didn't like threaten to beat the shit out of me. That could have, yeah, I'll take that. Okay, all right. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens when we go to bed. I guess. Maybe we'll take the 2 twin beds and push them together like it's fucking college. Okay. Actually, these beds are kind of dirty. I don't know what kind of STDs are hiding in here, so maybe it's for the best. She's pretty. She's pretty. Since we're yee-hawing. She's pretty. She said later. Okay, well, how much later? A day? A week? A year? Wait, what? Wait, meet her at midnight? Wait, why are we meeting her at midnight? I forgot about that.
Dakota Smith.
What?
If you're looking for jobs out here,
I'm not looking for jobs, Dakota Smith. I'm looking for pussy.
Thanks for the
Oh my
intel.
god. Okay.
things flow differently out here.
Where is she?
Keep your head on, city kid.
Where is she? You shitting, girl? Look in the mirror. Do I look cute? I look like a fucking... Okay, practice your smile. Oh, okay, okay, okay. What does this one look like? Oh, she's pogging. She's pogging. This is what, listen, my autistic act... This is like embarrassing, but I actually... Sometimes I do have to actually practice like making expressions in front of the mirror. Because like I don't want to look like a bitch and I don't want to look like a weirdo. So sometimes I'll like rehearse having conversations like just in case, you know? Wait, what? Mimi, wait. Garage, I'll be waiting. Okay. Sprint! Oh my god. Okay, sprint. Thank you, Cola. I appreciate that. Always smile. Okay. Can you fucking imagine just like I'm sorry, Cromie, just my brain just went like you've been diagnosed with cancer, EB Games. I'm sorry. Takamura, I'm about to get pussy. Can we wait? God, everyone's cog-bugging me.
Where'll it be this time? Trash processing plant? Deserted in-cart station?
I'm not allowed to have anything.
There is a street market. It is on the footbridge above the main street.
Takamura, hurry it up.
It is easy to.
I need to get back to. Can I call you later?
On my way there.
Can I call you later?
Make me wait.
I'm going to make you wait. Okay, I'm going to make you wait. Okay, shut up. Hey.
Can I help? No, you can't. I'll be done soon. The Raffins left her crooked as a bag of snakes.
Follow your instincts.
Did you sleep all right?
Can't complain.
Yeah.
Come up with anything? For Hellman, I mean.
As a matter of fact, I did. Look here.
Okay.
Tell me.
We're the wrench. The cutter is the AV. And the screwdriver is where the AV should bury its nose cone in the dust.
I love pictures!
Now, you must be wondering how we get the AV to do that.
That old HMG of yours?
My gun will be useful elsewhere. This caliber would barely dent the armor of a heavy hitter like that. There are other ways. Here. The clamps are solution. A sat-wave power station.
Can you explain it again? I'm stupid.
Hold up, one more time. Wrench is our car, right?
Mm-hmm. The cutter is the AV.
Okay.
The screwdriver is where the AV should hit the ground.
Okay, I get
the
it.
clamp is the sat-wave power station. That is, the net we use to bring the AV down.
Why's the AV gotta... What?
Why down the AV there, at that exact spot?
Because once it's on the ground, we'll have to locate it and grab your target. As fast as we can. And the terrain there is typical California desert. Flat, dry, and empty. There'll be a big old sitting duck.
Yeah, that makes sense. The power station, though?
Sat-wave power station?
What's sat-wave mean?
We need to break into it.
Oh, okay. I'm very good
So
at
far,
breaking
so
and
good.
entering.
But then what?
And then we strike. We hit the AV with an EMP.
Of course we do.
Somber
As soon as the AV is in range, we cause an electromagnetic pulse. The onboard electronics
That's
should
what
fail
EMP
outright.
means.
Meaning what? Engines will shut down?
Everything will shut down. Engines included. Drive, navigation, communication systems.
Well, let's get
All
going.
right, let's ride.
Do we need Hellman alive?
It's cold out here.
Okay. Before we get in the car with the love of our life, I am gonna run a quick ad break just because if you're here at the beginning of the stream, you know that I was suffering from a tummy ache. So I didn't eat dinner, so I'm gonna go grab a snack real quick. If you've been watching since the beginning, this is your time to go to the bathroom, grab a snack, and grab a drink, and drink water, and take your meds today if you haven't already. So we'll be back in 3 minutes. Boop. And then press the where's my BRB screen? Boop. I like your funny words, magic woman. Hee hee hee. Okay, we'll be back. Okay. Hi, I'm back. We may have to take another break later because I went to go use the bathroom, and David's shitting. So, there's that. It is very stressful. No, I'm kidding. We'll be okay. We will persevere. Okay, we will persevere. Okay. Let's get riding. I'm ready to go. Lead the way, my dear. Did you tell David to shit faster to stress him out? You don't interrupt a man during his shit. You know, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not evil.
Just wondering whose toes we're about to step all over.
I'm morally gray. Okay, we've established that.
Simple.
But I'm not
Everything
evil.
you see is owned by a corporation.
And you like to mess with the corpse? Wait, this is kind of because we're like ex-corpo, and she hates like corpos. Like, I'm getting some vibes here. Okay, I'm getting some vibes.
Rogue,
okay.
Nash, the Raffins.
You're on thin ice, B.
You just like to mess with everyone.
Well, then I suppose it's a good thing I'm on your side, isn't it?
Listen. Subject. I would do this.
And now for something completely different. Weirdest thing you've ever transported. Go.
She's gonna say something fucked up like
What?
people.
Are we playing 20 questions?
Come on, answer.
Please?
The deputy finance director of Cowcause.
That's chauffeuring, not smuggling.
He rode in the trunk. Flatlined.
Yeah, that counts.
Really? Dead.
A long story. Maybe someday I'll tell you.
Oh. Well, damn. How many girls have you kissed? Can we not skip this ride, or are we just sitting there awkwardly in silence?
We'll make a quick stop here.
Okay. Where are we stopping for? Whoa. Is
we need
that?
to calibrate you with the turret.
Oh.
I want you to be able to use the gun too. It should up our chances in general.
Okay.
Connect here.
Okay. How?
How should I connect? Personal link?
How else? Just watch the jack. Sometimes you have to jig a little bit.
All right. Well, I'm jacking.
Wired in.
Wait a moment. Diagnostics first. Shit, it keeps giving me an error.
I don't like that.
Around it.
And now, Panem, here's Johnny. Out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Great work, V.
Hey, I think your implant has a virus. The one in the nape of your neck.
Oh, just some malware.
Not a virus. Just a little malware.
I clicked on one of those ads that told me there were singles in my area.
Will it affect the calibration?
Shut up, Johnny.
We shall see.
Shut up.
Okay. Here goes nothing.
Okay. Ooh. Whoa.
See that pile of junk? Fire a short burst into it. I'll take care of the calibration.
Okay.
Good. Next target. Single shot.
Oh. Oh, okay. Whee!
Okay. Just one more. Longer round.
Okay. Whee!
Great. We're done, I think.
Yay!
That
Wow.
wasn't so bad, was it?
Your software could use an update. Your software could use an update.
Calibration's fine, but your soft could really use an update.
I love being a fucking
Controller's
nerd.
all a couple generations back at least. There's better tech in the bargain bin at a Kabuki flea market. I can help you with that, you know.
Yes, sure. The most important thing is that it works now.
Okay.
So where's this power station?
That's a fast travel checkpoint.
I know as well. We'll have a decent view. I just want to be sure the area is clear.
Sabotage a Corpo power station. Jump a Corpo transport.
The fucking finger counting.
This a plug for the word corpo, or do you have a point?
Know what? You're starting to remind me of me, 50 years back. Minus the charisma. An impressive cock.
He's so me. He's so fucking me. Yeah, maybe we really are like, I too have a magnificent cock and balls.
Could be something to that, I suppose.
They're weighted.
To us, it must have had some effect.
I do have fridge. Shut up.
You'll see.
But it goes both ways. Maybe you're becoming more like me.
Nah, no way.
All looks clear. The area looks deserted. I see no patrols.
Huh.
The huge thing is the collection. And see the
Listen,
antennas?
Keanu Reeves isn't
Each antenna
always right.
collects
If we've
microwave
learned
energy
anything,
from
it's that
satellites in
Keanu
orbit.
Reeves is sometimes
That's
wrong.
then
Sometimes
converted
he's
into
very,
electric power.
very wrong. Okay? Hi, Bumble. All right. How do you choose the right one?
Huh. Antennas run all the way down the interstate.
Mm-hmm. And they're linked, which is to your advantage. We just need to mess with the collection unit. A chain reaction will follow. Each one of the
I don't know how I
antennas will
feel about
remind
this.
me
This
of
is a
keepers.
little...
The
There's a
AV
lot
will
of
be like a fly
explosions.
headed for a spider's
But I'm
web.
not a pussy. I
We
said
just
I
have to
wasn't a
fire off the
pussy.
pulse at the right moment.
Let's go get her.
Once we reach the station, I'll set up a bypass for the detonator. You just overload the systems.
Welcome to terrorism. Thanks. Can't we just blow it up?
Panem, what if we cut all the cute stuff and blow the station up?
And then make out.
Normally, I'd love to. But an explosion would trigger an automatic shutdown protocol in each collector. All Night City would know we were there well before we got around the protocol. Nice idea, though. Maybe next time.
Eco-terrorism, by the way. No. No.
Yes, ma'am. When do I start?
Everything I say is a joke. It is
hoping
all
that's not too
satire. EB Games
complicated.
does not
Is
support
it?
terrorism
It shouldn't
in
be.
real life.
You just turn everything up.
But
as
she does
far
in
as they go.
Minecraft.
Crank it up to 11. Got it.
What do we do now?
So what now?
We wait. We should time our arrival to the AV flight.
Got
Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ah! I hate these jump scares.
Time to roll.
How long have we been waiting here?
it. Done anything like this before?
Downing an AV? By myself? No. Why do you ask?
You are very good at what you do.
Seems Rogue was right.
V.
What? She said you were good, and she was right.
Yes, I suppose she was.
I thought she was gonna hit
But
that
we
car.
have yet to take the AV. So you might wait before you fasten a halo on her.
Know what? Think I figured you out.
Oh, you have? Have you?
Either pull off this mission or prove Rogue wrong. Choose one.
Fuck off. I will get both done.
I need V to stop talking. Let me do the talking, not V. Okay? She's so mean. She's so rude. And for what?
Okay, we'll be there in a moment.
Yippee!
One last time. We drive in, fuck up the system, and get the hell out of there.
And bonk some
Hold
people.
on tight. This could get a little bumpy.
Are we
Get
done?
ready.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm jacking.
I'm ready.
Do I shoot it now? Now? Okay, now. What? Oh, the security! Not the power plant. Okay, wait. I forgot the plan. The plan. Okay, the security. I'm working on it.
Do it better.
I'm trying! You can't put me under pressure, I'll cry!
Good enough.
Is that all of them?
Provided we hurry.
Oh boy, this is stressful. So much of this game is so stressful. This is not like Skyrim at all. Skyrim is calm, peaceful, walk through the... What? Okay, we just faced it. What? What are we doing? Oh!
Find the controls.
Oh, okay.
I'll connect the detonator.
Yes, ma'am.
Quick feet.
Okay. I'm jacking. Overcharged. Yes. Okay.
Shit.
What? What happened? I don't know what happened. Okay. Alright. I'm jacking. Ah! I'm gonna have a fucking seizure. Overcharge. Oh boy, fucking laser light show looking ass. Okay.
Shit, think we might have overdone it, Panem.
Time to go home. I would like to go home. I want my mommy.
Do you see that? All lit up and blinking.
I am also all lit up and lighting like a
You gotta
fucking
let
Yeah.
Christmas
Get out of
tree.
here before it lights us up too.
Holy shit. My eyes hurt, bro. Holy fuck.
V, get the fuck out before something happens to the chip.
What?
I was just about to
Huh?
set up a picnic. Maybe lay out, work on my
I
base
mean it.
camp.
Watch out. The next one might.
Johnny?
What?
Johnny?
What's going on? Do I have to make a choice? Oh, I hate making choices.
Fucking hell.
What? What's gonna happen? Get cut to the chase.
I'm fine. It's okay. It's okay. I'm fine. Yeah. Just delta the fuck out.
Not the cleanest job, perhaps, but it still went well.
What about the detonator? Is it working?
Yes, it's working. And I don't even see a drop in the signal strength. We just need to drive far away enough to keep
Johnny's
the pulse
freaking
from
me
blasting
out,
us,
bro.
too.
Johnny's freaking me out.
The cliff there. We'll set up. It should give us a good view of the antennas. And then we wait.
Okay. Oh, it's smoking. It's smoking.
Here.
Always wanted to push the big red button on something like this.
She's
How
letting
do
me
we
push
know
the
when?
button.
Don't worry. I'll have eyes on it.
That's the
You
nicest
just wait
thing.
for my signal. Then set off that pulse.
She's letting me push the
They
button.
won't know what hit them.
Can I push it now?
And by the way,
I want to do
What?
eco-terrorism. Can I do it now?
we are about
Can I
to
do it now?
knock a
Can I do
multi-million
it now?
euro dollar
Can I do it now?
cow asset
Can I
clean
push?
out
Can I
of the
push it?
sky.
Can I push it?
How does that make you feel?
I want to push the button.
Blasted shit.
I want to push the
Exactly
button.
what the doc ordered.
And
push the
that's
button.
exactly what I
Please
like
let me
to
push the
hear.
button. Can I push it?
Just noticed.
What?
It's quiet. The hum of the city, people's voices, the smells. It's all gone.
Are we gonna have an emotional moment before I push the button?
Wind just tense.
Probably killed a bunch of
I
hope.
think I forgot quiet
It
exists.
happens. It do be like that
Maybe not the
sometimes.
smells. I mean, the coyotes. Rather hard to miss.
Thought that was just the air freshener in your Thornton.
Ha ha. Screw you.
Do I press
You'd
it?
do better to focus on the AV. Keep your eyes open.
When do I press the button? Can I press it now? Oh.
It's there. Coming from Pacifica.
Huh?
All right. Get ready. One more second. One more. Now.
Boom. There she is.
Shit. What's
Great.
happening?
Just great. Great.
Go again.
Just great.
Oh, there it goes.
Bullseye.
Yippee!
Panem, the engines are still running. Fuck, they're getting away.
Oh,
They're
shit.
going nowhere.
We gotta go after it.
Oh,
Give me a
fuck.
moment.
I missed it.
Panem, what are you doing?
Did I actually miss it and that's why this is happening, or is it supposed to happen? What? Oh, fuck. Holy shit!
Do it.
It's losing altitude.
This is strangely attractive.
Bastard.
Let's go.
This is scripted? Okay, good.
No way
I
it's
really
engineered
thought I
after a
fucked up
blast like
pressing
that.
the button.
Crash.
Catch that? Over. AV, unmarked. Losing out. There?
Scorpion. What the hell are they
Finishing
doing?
up at the
Wait, did they
generator.
betray you?
Follow them. On my way in a bit. Battery
Mitch,
should sort
Scorpion,
itself out.
it's Panem. Don't go near that AV. I repeat, do not approach the AV.
On the way. Or I'll start the party without you.
It's King Town. Wait for me. Or better get the hell out.
What's happening? Did you not have faith in yourself? No.
It's corporate. They can't hear me. The pulse is interfering.
Oh no, this is gonna be sad.
Free on radar.
Drones?
Yes, you're ready.
Okay, shooting time.
They're trying to slow us down. We won't let them. We have to reach with Scorpion.
Shooting time. Shooting time. Oh god, I got focus once. I got focus once. Ah! I'm really bad at this. They're fast and I'm slow. They're fast and I'm slow. Oh boy. Okay. Shooting time. Shooting time. Oh fuck.
Panem, problem. Not shooting. Come on, down again. Okay. Hold on tight. Going on autopilot. Seize them.
Ah!
We're on our tail. Panem. I know.
Ah!
Relax. Someone else.
I am not very good at this. No!
It's nothing. I'm fine.
Oh god damn it.
For the time being, at least.
Time being's all we need.
Okay, we got him. Ah, I'm so sorry, Panem. Panem, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Girl boss.
Mini Kirsten, thank you so much for the follow. I got my girlfriend shot, but she doesn't know she's my girlfriend yet, and I just did eco-terrorism. Welcome to the stream. But I did get to press a button, though. That was pretty cool. That might have been scripted. Oh, okay.
Behind that hill.
Huh?
This thing to worry about. Panem, you okay?
Fucking ricochet.
Oh, she is not okay.
Sure.
Ah!
Don't worry.
Ah!
Hey man, where are you? Hello?
Perfect.
Scorpion?
Keep broadcasting over an open channel, just in case they missed you the first time.
Holy shit.
I swear. Something's not right. Did you hear those shots?
Gaslight.
Oh,
Something
no.
happened to
Girl
them.
boss.
Oh,
Check it out.
Spectral Citizen, thank you so much for checking out my YouTube. I appreciate it.
Or Mitch.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Looks expired. Fuck it.
You okay? I mean, I have like a hamburger.
V, connect to the drone. We'll scan the area. We have to get our
That'll heal you. It heals me just fine. I also have some whippets.
Let's roll.
That
You
worked.
Connecting to visual.
Mm-hmm. V, if they got the Aldecaldos, if they got Mitch and Scorpion, I can't... I don't...
I know. Connected. I'm in control.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Okay, tab. Let's see. Let's see, what's going on here?
Oh, no. No, no.
Can I zoom in at all? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Your clan.
Why is it not letting me scan? Do I have to get closer? I probably have to get closer. There's some people over there.
Aldecaldos. Yes. They're dead. All of them.
Oh, shit.
V, if they...
Don't worry. We don't know for sure.
Rats.
Scorpions, Apollo.
Mitch!
Oh, there's Mitch!
He's alive! They have them!
Let me scan you. Guess I can't scan them yet. I gotta get closer. Oh, wait, I can scan this guy. Yeah, that's just the robot.
They've set up the launcher. They'll tear us to shreds if we get too close.
Can't we take it down somehow?
Maybe. But we have to get there first.
Is there anyone else I can
King's
scan?
on patrol.
I think I've scanned everybody I can. Oh shit. Are they gonna shoot him? Is anything else gonna happen? Okay, I guess I'm not gonna know.
If not for those damn glitches, I could have warned them. This is all my doing. Why in the hell were they following the AV? The fools!
Listen,
I'm trying to be supportive. I'm trying.
Too. We'll find them, help them out.
Oh,
if they're still alive.
They're alive. Everything's gonna be okay.
Mind that launcher. It will blow us to bits if we approach.
Okay. Here, but
okay, here's
you
the
are
plan.
hurt.
You stay in the car.
No, not so fast. I will go with you. Those are my people.
Trash man, no, trash mama.
Wait in the car.
Thank you so much for the follow. You're not guessing keep girl boss. My girlfriend's in distress. She doesn't know she's my girlfriend yet, but you know.
I will try to cover you from here.
Okay.
Good idea.
Yeah, you stay in the car, eat a hamburger, and everything. Oh, she's still coming with me, isn't she? Wait, okay. Trash mammal. Oh my god, I'm illiterate. There we go. I don't know. Trash Mama sounds like a cool name, low key. Like, you know, I could picture, like, imagine, like, hear me out. Like, Trash Mama could be like a VTuber name. You could be like a rat lady with fat tits. Bro, that would smack so hard. But I apologize. Welcome to the stream and thank you for a follow. Let's see if we can take things out. Can I save, actually? I don't know where my last save was. We're saving here. Okay, yeah, she's staying behind. I was gonna be low-key mad if she like followed me. Like, girl, you literally got shot. Okay, should I be sneaky? I wasn't supposed to shoot that, was I? Oh no. Okay, no. Oh, I can take it out. Okay, I don't know if I can actually take this out. Here, I need to hide behind a rock or something. Here, put in the rock. Okay, crouch. I didn't know what they meant by the turret, and I saw the big floaty thing. I just kind of assumed that was the turret. Okay, my bonking stick isn't gonna help me in this situation. Okay. Okay, let's get back in there. All right, come on. Oh, I'm stuck on a... Whoa! I see one of them over there. I can't fucking see shit. Here, come here. Oh my god, I can't shoot for shit. Jesus Christ. No, my bonking stick! I need my other gun! Switch it to your pistols faster than the reloading! I played Call of Duty in 2007. Is my pistol doing... Whoa! Okay. Okay. Here, let's down this bad boy. Oh, fuck. Okay, we need to find cover soon. Fast. Okay, that little palm tree is not gonna cut it. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, where's the others? Oh, they're all the way over there. Shit. Let's hide behind this thing again. See if we can get the big boy taken out. Oh, I'm like tickling him for damage. Okay. It's almost down now. Okay. Almost done. Almost done. Okay, I really hope that was what I was supposed to do. Okay. Okay. We'll head in there. It's time for the bonking stick. Okay. I don't give a fuck. Alright. Hello. Let me get in range of you so I can... Fuck! Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck! Okay, yeah, okay, maybe the bonking stick is not the option here. Fuck, okay. How are you shooting me from behind? Like, I know there's that guy. Are you really taking cover behind the palm tree? Okay, there we go. Alright. Another, oh, you're still alive. Okay, there you go. Okay, that was what I was supposed to do. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, shit. Oh, shit! Oh, what the fuck? Oh my god, what is that? Here, let me... No, that's a grenade! That's not the heal button! Okay. Where are they? I can't see them. Gah! I can't fucking see shit! Get me in there. Where are they? Hello? Hello? Oh, fuck. Okay. What is going... Where is the turret? In there? Do I have to go inside? No? Oh, Lord. Okay. I deadass don't see it. Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Path's clear.
Okay.
I'm coming for you.
That was way more stressful than it needed to be. I wish I was able to see things. Hi, Jaikon! Welcome in, gamer. We, lots of things have happened, but we are romancing Panem. We certainly are on the right track there. It's, if you ignore the scenery, it is going, pretty well, I'd say. I'm gonna get in the AV and let her do her thing. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Open the door. I'll cover you.
Okay.
Now.
Whoa!
Back! Toss your weapons, or I'll shoot. I repeat.
Easy now.
Drop your weapons now.
God, I'm gonna fuck this up. I am not good at hostage situations.
You don't gotta die today. Let's talk.
Why should I believe you?
Panem, shoot him.
Listen, this isn't about you. Let him go and tell me where your passenger is.
I don't know where they took him.
Hell no.
You don't know, or you don't want to
This
say.
is stressful. Fuck.
I'll buzz the unit. We'll talk.
Panem,
But only if
you remember the cowboy, don't you?
Oh shit!
Damn, that was crazy. Holy fuck, that was schmooze.
Just some scratches.
Fucking morons.
Did you get hit?
Gaslight, geek,
Oh my god.
girl boss.
Blue IDF, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream, gamer. You're now Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss. Lots of things are happening to my girlfriend who doesn't know she's my girlfriend yet.
Everyone? Scorpion, is he here? Mitch?
Oh, he is not. Oh, no.
He's safe, right?
I'm sorry. I didn't make it in time.
No. No. Are you sure?
Oh, no.
No, he...
Scorpion, the rest. I'm sorry we didn't get here sooner.
They were good people. Great people. They didn't have to die here.
I should have stopped him.
I tried. He wouldn't have listened to you either.
This is sad.
Never was much of a listener.
There.
Stubborn bastard.
I'm guessing since you were out here for the AV. The question is why?
Are you okay?
Everything okay?
Like,
You
actually?
Need anything?
Thanks for saving my ass, V.
Sorry about your people, but I need to keep moving.
No. I want the guy.
I need the guy who was riding this AV. You know anything? See anything?
Took him with him. In our cars.
Where?
Oh.
West, small unit. Your passenger's entourage.
Must be looking for a way to call base.
So you're the ones who hit him with that EMP?
Yeah, we tried to warn you, but we couldn't connect.
If they took your cars, we might be able to follow their tracks.
I don't know what the right answer is
What's
here.
gotten into you?
Sorry, here, you stay
I'll
here.
go after him. Stay with Mitch. I'll be fine.
I am going with you. I promised I would help.
Are you sure?
Besides, those bastards killed Scorpion. I won't let that go.
Don't argue with her, V. No point.
All right, let's go.
Go. I'll call my people. We'll take care of things here.
We'll leave my ride here just in case. Just watch the gun, it likes to jam. We'll go by bike.
Sounds solid. Kang Tao lost contact with their AV. Probably looking for it. Better hurry. But Panem,
What?
Oh,
you're coming back for her, right?
I promise.
okay.
Let's get going before they send a rescue party.
All right, I will help you.
Scorpion.
Because you literally got shot,
Look,
and I feel bad. And I
know
also
how you
want to
feel.
scissor you, but that's besides the
I
point.
mean it. I'll help you settle your score with King Tao.
I will destroy them, V. Every last one.
Slay! Literally.
Bitter end.
You know what, V? You're all right. You helped me with Nash. You helped me with Mitch. To my mind, I owe you a favor. Your Hellman. I will find him.
Ah, so that's what this is? Just paying your debt?
V, shut the
No.
fuck up.
Nomad's always.
Oh my god, I hate
So
her
I'm one
so
of yours now.
much. Would it
Sounds
kill
good.
you to remove
right.
the stick
Hope
up
they
your
don't go
ass?
far.
She's so
We'll see.
mean. And for what?
The tire tracks still
Ugh.
here. We'll follow them.
Alright, where are we going?
Our guys were here.
Let's follow. Find them.
Alright, motorcycle time. Alright. Route simulation in progress.
Scorpion said I would hate Night City.
He knew you that
Do
well.
we have to go their exact path?
Probably better than I know myself. He said when I
Like,
had enough of the city.
because it says the path says this way. I guess we'll do this. Bomb options are usually mean if I remember right. That's so fucked up. Okay, we'll follow the path it's set for me.
Sounds like a real adventure.
So, like, literally follow them. Whoa. Oh, it's bumpy. Oh, okay, no, that was not. Oh, bumpy! Bumpy!
You're alive.
Bumpy! Oh,
Still got
boy.
a few things to take care of, too.
Bumpy. 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 Ah! Okay, bumpy. Okay, okay. I'm a little afraid, but that's... Okay, this way? This way. Okay. We'll just follow my gut, because my gut was wrong the first time. Oh, I see. Okay. Bumpy. Oh. Holy shit. I can't imagine playing this in VR. If this was in VR, I would throw up all over the floor. Holy fuck. This is kind of fun though. I got some air for a second there. You see that? Oh shit. Ah, missed my turn. Missed my exit. Okay, there we go. Oh! Okay. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Oh wait, fuck, I'm in combat. Okay, excuse me. Excuse me. What the fuck?
Hell yeah!
Are we good? Huh? Oh. Hi!
Watch out! There's a sniper behind the van!
Pistol time! Oh, bonking time, actually. Come here. Bonk! Ha! No more living! Okay. You! Why does my pistol do more damage? Maybe because I'm hitting more consistently with it. Any more of them? What the fuck is that? What? Oh my god! He's swooshing! Stop swooshing! Here, come here, let me bonk you. Oh my god, shut the fuck up, I will get you pregnant. Come here! Stop! 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 That's what I thought. God damn. Okay. What's this over here? Oh, fuck! Okay. More bonking. Come here.
You're a goddamn psycho!
I know! Tell me something I don't know.
The rest must have taken home and with them.
Jesus.
If they manage to regroup and call for help, we're out of luck.
Better hurry then.
Fuel. Alright, let's get back on the motorcycle. Where did I put it? Where did I put the motorcycle, deadass? I know I kind of wiped out over here. Oh, motherfucker. Okay. I guess we're not getting on the motorcycle then. No more motorcycle. No more motorcycle. I was really... no more motorcycle. Can I just,
Reloading. Cover me.
Can I get a different motorcycle, please? Oh. Are you fucking kidding me? Can I... Get in the car, 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 get in the car! We're leaving! You want in? Are you coming? Okay, okay, well, listen, girl, I'm leaving. I do not want to get shot again. I was... Oh. Ugh. Get that shit out of here. Alright, 4-wheel drive.
Left a few peeps behind.
I don't know what 4-wheel drive means.
Rest won't we
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. God, it's so fucking bumpy.
The last they want is to ride through the desert without backup. I hope much contact.
Usually I don't give a fuck while I'm driving playing this game, but I'm genuinely like, ah!
You know what?
Ah!
What?
This is my life
Woo!
right here.
Puppy!
I step out of one pile of shit,
Can I get some air?
trip into another bigger one.
Panem.
Don't run into a tree. Don't run into a tree. Oh, okay, we're drifting.
I wager that's where they're holding.
Oh, wait, that's a guardrail. Ooh, whoopsie. Okay, this way? Okay. Wait, we're going to the gas station? Okay, gas station. Oh, fuck. Did you see that? Whoopsies. Okay, let me just get over real quick. Thank you. The way the car fucking disappeared. Okay. Alright. Alright, so I guess this is kind of a road. I didn't see the road, I'm gonna be honest, so... Alright, we'll just follow, Panem, I guess? That's Panem, right? Hi, EEBEE! Who let EV drive? Listen, I'm trying my best, and my best is not very good. But that's okay. I think it's kicking in. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, my exit. I'm not gonna miss my exit. I'm not gonna miss my exit. I'm not gonna miss my exit. There we go. Smooth as molasses drips off a spoon. Perfect. I'm so good at driving. Okay. Whee.
Okay, covering
you. Oh shit.
Drones, patrols.
Woo.
Definitely set up shop.
Wait, let me get that. Let me get that fast travel thing.
They must have Hellman locked up
I
somewhere.
want the fast travel thing.
Look, see that?
What the? Huh?
The pumps look pretty good. Not what you would find in a place we're closed.
What the fuck?
The bastards might have managed to call for transport.
We'll know soon enough.
I just want the fast pass thing. Okay, cool.
Your brainwaves are synced up to the sound of 88.
What? Are we going? Do I just start shooting? They're not friends, aren't they? Oh, they're not friends, I don't think. Oh.
I see cars.
I wasn't sure what we were going for there, so I just kind of walked in. Wasn't really sure what our plan was. But that's okay. You know, plans change. Oh, fuck. You know, explosions happen.
I'm in.
Oh, fuck. Fuck! Okay, okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I need cover. I need cover and I need it now. Alright, whip it! Okay. Okay. No! What is that big fucking robot? Oh my god! Leave me alone! Okay. I need to fucking upgrade my shit. Alright, helmet. Oh, you're right, you again. I missed you. I almost didn't see ya. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Yes. Oh boy. This is stressful. Hi. Oh, motherfucker. Right in the booty hole. What is this thing shooting me? There we go. Okay. Oh my god, that's so much less stressful now. Okay. I'm right in the booty hole. Helmet. Oh, you again. Get out of here. You're killing my vibe. So I killed you. Ruining the vibe is an offense punishable by death. Oh, money. Okay. Oh, I thought that was gonna be another big stick I could use to bonk somebody. Alright, where's Hellman? Don't see him. He's gotta be somewhere in here. Hellman. Where is he? What the fuck was that?
70% real blood dripping meat. Slaughterhouse.
Oh, it's a game. Okay. Fuck. It's probably up here. I ran through this area really fast because I was afraid. Which, you know, it happens. It really does. Alright. Huh? Let's see. Recon grenade. That's always fun.
Who sent you?
Hey, easy. We gotta talk.
Who are you working for?
Here we go.
Yorinobu Arasaka. Do you wish to take me back home?
Pathetic rat's got nowhere left to scurry off to. He's out of lifelines. Shut him up already.
I don't like him.
I take it.
You haven't found a fan in him either. Motherfucker doesn't know who to be scared of more, you or Arasaka.
Damn. Oh, I was gonna bring out the bonking stick.
Seem to recall you were gonna tell Takamura when you got Hellman.
Yeah, just
Let me call him. Hi, Takamura.
I'll call him.
Just remember, you have Hellman, and that's one hell of a card. Try to win something with it.
Takamura saved my life, remember?
Because it was in his fucking interest to do so. Still just biz.
Did he not pick
He's no
up?
friend of yours.
Maybe I can't call him right now because I'm talking to Johnny. Here, there it goes.
Takamura, good news. Got Hellman.
Alive. What did he say?
Alive. Alive. Not too talkative now. Taking him to the Sunset Motel.
I will come to you.
Okay.
Keep him there until I arrive.
You got it. See ya.
Alright, come with me, buddy boy. Alrighty.
Better take him somewhere you can talk in peace.
True.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. This is gonna be rough, isn't it? Well, they're not gonna shoot me when I have this whole ass guy with me, right? That'd be crazy. I've got a whole ass.
Looks like your new Chimbas are here.
My Chimbas!
Sure is.
Take him outside. Toss him on the bike.
Alright. Here you go, buddy.
Stay right there.
The cavalry has arrived. Mitch gathered together a few elder helmets.
The road was clear. I don't think we were spotted. We would still do better not to hang around too long.
What do you plan to do with him?
I need to ask him some questions.
Just gotta ask him a few important questions.
I sure hope you get some important answers. Saul.
Everything's done here. All clear.
I heard Mitch is alive thanks to you.
Thanks to V and Panem. They both saved my ass.
I just hope he was worth it.
Saul, I tried to raise Scorpion, but he... Maybe I could help out somehow?
I think you've helped enough.
Aww.
I tried to stop him.
Oh, this is gonna
Sure.
get awkward.
Just turn around now. Let it all be damned. You're good at that, aren't you?
Look, Saul, it really wasn't Panem's fault.
Careful. You and me are not buddy-buddy. Besides, nobody's blamed anyone for anything yet.
Sure. Right. Panem was just helping me. It was my doing, my fault that AV got hit. Without me, Scorpion and his people wouldn't have gone out to grab it. That's the truth.
When you're in Aldo Caldo, you are always responsible for yourself and your people. The circumstances change nothing. Perhaps Panem should ask herself if she's still in Aldo Caldo.
Damn it all.
Fuck Saul.
Hey, don't worry about Saul. He'll get over it.
I don't give a damn.
But he gives a damn about you, Panem. As soon as he heard what had happened, he ordered us to follow you. He was worried something would happen
Saul?
to you.
That was his?
Look, maybe you two don't see eye to eye at the moment, but you're family, and Saul will do anything for family.
Okay.
The thing is, Am I even part of the family anymore?
Aww.
You know you are. Come back to us.
Oh, I feel bad
I understand.
for her. You gotta do what's best for you, girl.
Sorry you had to witness that. Things just get complicated. Dramatic sometimes. But I will manage. And you look out for yourself, all right?
What are you gonna do now?
So, what now? Back to Night City?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I have to sit and think. About everything.
Yeah. Maybe you should talk to it.
Saul, Mitch. They really treat you like family. Maybe you should give them a chance.
It is not that simple.
Like any family.
They're coming. You have about a minute to get out of there.
Let's move.
I'm also headed out. Take care of Scorpion's bike. It's yours.
Huh. Well. Guess we're rolling out then. The way he just fucking plopped onto the bike gets me, bro. Holy fuck. Alright. Hey. Good morning, sleepyhead. Good morning.
Hey.
Where am I? What is this place?
I want to talk about the biochip.
Want to talk about your little invention? Biochip you made for Arasaka.
Fine. But let's get one thing straight first. Yorinobu Arasaka didn't send you?
No.
This means you must have an offer for me. If your boss will pay more than Kang Tao, I believe we can talk.
We'll go this one.
Nobody sent me. I got a problem, and you're gonna help me.
And what does that have to do with the biochip?
Your tech's trying to kill me, bro.
Your tech's trying to kill me. Pretty sure that's not how it's advertised.
If you wish to file a complaint, I'll need more details.
Got Johnny Silverhand's construct stuck in my head, and I don't want it there.
Silverhand? Construct? That's
Hi,
impossible.
Johnny.
Where did you get this biochip?
You listen, bro. You just gotta remove it.
You have to remove the biochip
Don't worry
from
about
your
it.
system.
It's not that simple.
Look, you made the thing, didn't you? So where's the problem?
If you're telling the truth, you slotted in a new experimental version of the biochip.
So you can't just pull it out then?
I know you can't just yank it out.
Yeah.
My Ripper
You
said...
showed that to some fucking street doctor? Who else knows?
I needed help.
Yeah, what do you want me to do,
Or
bro?
did you think the first thing that came to mind was downing a Kang Tao AV? How's the prototype version different? It's got a different engram, something more...
Where?
Aggressive.
Johnny.
The biochip is what's unique, not Silverhand's engram.
Hear that,
Previous
Johnny?
version
You
of the
ain't
chip was
special.
only used to communicate with pre-saved
And it was
engrams.
rare as fuck and cost a fortune. Yeah.
This one's rarer. Meant to install and activate the engram in a new body.
Huh?
When I left Arasaka, the project was still in the trial phase.
Well, it works. Kind of.
Yeah, great. Your tech works. Now get it out of me.
Well.
I would have to see it first.
Okay.
I don't like this.
Unbelievable. It looks like...
Fucking
Can't
Johnny.
believe this suit's the one who's gonna help us.
Oh, fuck.
What is it? I
What
don't like the
is
sound of that. Who's that?
What a pity I won't be able to examine it fully.
Yeah, real shame. You could have been his guinea pig, too.
Tell me how to get rid of it.
I'm afraid I have bad news.
What?
Your neural network has
Sorry, I read the subtitles
completely
before he spoke.
deteriorated. It can
What?
no longer function independently of the chip. The only thing I could do
Woohoo, it's bargaining time.
Fucking
is to
Johnny!
give you information on a good clinic in Sweden. They'll help you through the terminal stages.
We're going to
Minimize the
Sweden.
pain.
Oh wait, no, we're not.
Wait, you said the project was in the trial phase. You don't actually know how it'll end.
Oh, I do. I just saw the construct devouring your brain. It's programmed to take over its new environment. At all costs. And your little meat brain is
don't
against it.
So no
don't say words about my meat brain.
Sooner or later, the end
Mind your business.
Yes. And from what I've heard about Silverhand, that seems to be exactly his style.
Huh. I see my reputation's grown into Arasaka legend.
I love Johnny.
What exactly
I fucking
is
love
going
Johnny.
on in my head?
You tell me, what's it like to have two personalities? Because it's not like you're hearing voices. You are both yourself and Silverhand simultaneously.
I can see him and talk to him.
Hi, Johnny.
You're not talking, but yes, I understand what you mean. Have you noticed the construct's influence on your decision-making?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
You will start doing things that were once unthinkable, at least to your old self. And you know exactly who he was. A fanatic, a terrorist, a suicide bomber.
Well, fuck me. Who's trying to mess with your head now?
Yeah, he's
That is
really
why I
talking some
believe
mad
it would be
shit.
better for you to consider clinical isolation at this stage.
At least Johnny never whored himself out like
Are you defending him? Or is that Johnny speaking now? Oh, let me guess. He already tried to take over your body. You know, just for a little while.
No.
Would you, though? Could be fun.
Johnny.
Kidding. But watch out. Suit's getting ready to talk your head off.
You know what? That's enough. You just playing for time? Because I can't tell. Are you trying to convince me you're useless? I mean, in that case, I can just shoot you in the head and save us both some time.
Finally.
I will try to help you. If you come with me to Kangtao.
I need some commitment, bro.
I'll try. Just isn't gonna cut it. Actually, it's almost like you're trying to buy your way in with the Chinese. At my expense.
Do you even realize how much data is in your head?
No.
Even if I can't help you, the data must be saved.
Well, fuck me sideways. What a half-brain gong. You just
Forget
admitted you're
Kangtao.
right.
Got any other ideas?
What a
If you think there's anyone
half-brained
else who can
gonk.
help you, I could
I
give
don't know
you
why,
the
but the way he said that was really funny to me.
complete project documentation. Kangtao offered quite the sum for it.
You got it with you?
He's got to. Gonk's fucking useless without him.
The way he like looks towards. Oh, hey!
Takamura. What the hell is he doing here?
He's
He's
got
my
a few
friend.
questions of his own for you. You play nice.
I love
He might
him.
even save your ass. I'm almost done. The blueprints.
He just has those? I mean, I guess that makes sense. Whoa. Whoa.
Better than nothing. Long as we find someone fluent in technobabble.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck any of this means. Hey. Alright.
He's all yours. I'll give you two some space.
Have fun. Oh, Gravy,
I
thank you
hope
so
we
much for
can
the
come
hygiene
to
and
an
the
understanding.
That is certainly in your best interest. V, I will remember this.
This heat.
Alright, we got the Wheel of Fortune. So we got an achievement.
V did not give you even a glass of water.
No.
Unacceptable. Inhumane.
Sorry.
That is not me. You will see the difference.
I just want to hear what he says. I know I
will
need to
give you
leave, but I want to
full
hear.
buckets.
No, no need.
Okay, bye. What? Oh no, I'm vomiting!
See that? Fuck me. Just look at that.
I don't want to be vomiting! Oh shit. Oh no. Oh, it's Jover. Is it Jover?
Bitches.
What's happening?
This the part where you divulge your master plan to annihilate Arasaka?
No. It's the part where I say I despise petty merc thieves who think they're hot shit rebels after setting foot in the afterlife. Might think you took on Arasaka, but you're just a bug they scraped off the sole of their boot and tossed in the trash.
Gotta go. Hang in there, bud.
Whoa. Whoa. Trippy. Okay. Well, looks like we're okay now. The map is still jiggly, but... Whew! Okay, what a day! So, we know the Panem romance mod works because we almost had sex with her, right? Keyword there is almost... Yeah, I wanted to ask him more questions, and then all the other options went away, and I was like, well, okay, all right. This music kind of bumping, though. But I do think we will... I think we'll call it here, just because I'm really hungry and I have to pee. So gamers, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really hope you had a good time. I really hope you enjoyed it. I have a few things happening for the rest of this week. The new chapter of my book is coming out tomorrow. And then I will be streaming again here on Friday. You can find my schedule on Twitter. I post all my VODs on YouTube, and I also have miscellaneous social media. And if you want to know more about me, you want to get announcements when I stream, I do have a community Discord. So thank you, gamers, for hanging out. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let's see who is live right now, who we can raid into. I would love to do, who can I raid into where I can make the raid message Fat Cock Raid? Because I kind of want to do Fat Cock Raid after hearing what Johnny said, low-key. If Twitch will load for me. Twitch isn't loading for me, bro. Okay, there we go. Let's do, oh, we'll raid Puds, and she's playing Class of 09. Perfect, perfect, on brand. Okay, all right, we'll raid Puds, and then I think I spelled her name right. Make sure I did that right. I did do that right. And our raid message, Fat Cock Raid. Is that allowed? No, Mr. Hands! Mr. Hands, we're doing the raid!
Call and you make sweet love to it, that is.
Got something
Mr. Hands! No, Mr. Hands! Okay. We will find out what Mr. Hands has for us next time. Good night, gamers, and I will see you on Friday. Bye-bye!